Good morning, everyone. It is August 26th, 2025, Tuesday morning. I got up early, I couldn't sleep, so I started to do more of these. I was just wondering how everyone was doing. The DC8 challenge is over, but hopefully the fellowship is not. So, I'm really amazed at the stuff that I got out of it. I started this YouTube channel. I already have over 100 likes, 9,800 views, and 32 subscribers. So thank you to everyone for coming along this journey with me. Thank you very much, Nicole Washington Smiley of DC8 Creations. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate all your help and your support and what you do for the community and all of us as well. So what did I want to discuss? That's what I wanted to discuss. I wanted to show you guys another option for this. So what I did was I ordered something called bling rope or glitter rope. So I'm going to grab it. I had it under here. I just thought of this just now. So, I just need a few. Where did it go? Where did it go? Oh, I can't. Yes, okay. It's way back there. I have to push like this stuff underneath the bottom part of my table so the cats don't get to it. They're very clever. They learn to reach under and they're opening doors and cupboards. They're opening like the pantry door and the linen closet. So they've come such a long ways. They're very curious. Okay, this is called glitter rope. I ordered this from Glitz and Glue. There is a site called Craft Outlet. You can get it on there. It's something like, I want to say, for $9 or $10, you get 25 feet. This is 5 yards. I ordered 2 5-yard packets, which is 30 feet. I also paid shipping and postage, and so this ended up being $40. So because it's $40, I'm really careful on what I want to use it on. I was going to use it on this project, but because of the expense, I can't. I will be using it on something else, but just not this one. So, with that being said, like I said, I'm new to the bling wrap, new to all the glitter, new to all of it. I went ahead and got it from this lady because what she does is so it's Glitz and Glue, Glittz and Glue, GLUE. She actually has a YouTube channel, an Etsy store, Facebook. She has personal coaching courses, all of that on fake baking. So if you want to know stuff about fake bakes, she'd be the one to go research and reach out to. So I went ahead and bought this because, like I said, I'm all new to this, and because of it, you can just see how sparkly this is. It is so super, super sparkly. I got it because I wanted to see what this is like to work with. I got it from her because she's based out of here in the US, and a lot of people have ordered from her. There's other YouTube channel crafters that refer people to her. So with that being said, I wanted to know I was getting something real off the get-go, and see what it does and then go from there. Like I said, there's a place called Craft Outlet. You can get 25, hang on, what is it? 25 feet for $9. Trying to think here. So this is 5 yards, which is 15 feet. I got 2 of these, which is 30 feet. 30 feet, $40 because I paid for postage and handling also. But what I was going to say is I think it's 25 yards for $10. They also sell all kinds of other crafting supplies. So basically what happens is you just kind of seat it in here, and it's like a third decoration to the lollipop. So, you know, you just swirl it around on this, and this probably would work a lot better if it were, so this is 6mm yarn. And if you got into 20, 19 or 20, which is the thicker, chunkier yarn to do those, I recommend to do that too. These take longer. So, you know, you're just going to be swirling it in as a third way. And then another crafter took a strand of beads and worked her way around. So that was going to be the idea for this. But because I spent so much money on this, I can't do that with this. So I did get in my journey of research on glitter and bling wrap a wonderful jar of glitter that's going to go well with these. And another reason why I can't use this is because it's a little too big to get into those grooves. So like I was saying, if you used that thick chunky yarn, Burr Knot, spelled B-E-R-N-A-T, has that chunkier, wider yarn, so it'll get your swirl done faster and it gives a bit of a big swirl effect. But if you're wanting to use bling rope as an option, this I think is 6mm. So anyhow, it's easier to get the bling wrap in between, you know, we call it the ditch, and lay it on in there. So I just wanted you guys to know that that was another option for you as well. I just can't wait to get the glitter and the bling wrap and everything else. Oh my goodness, we are going to decorate. I am so excited. You ever sit there at your shopping cart and you're like, oh, and just, you know, oh, I can't wait till payday. I can't wait. And just sit there and window shop and oh, that's what I've been doing. This has been one of those deals there. So I was going to say about Glitz and Glue. She has really taken the fake bakes to a whole new level and has just opened up this huge buffet for all of us. On her videos, she takes you through, like, you don't have to join or do her courses to benefit from her work. She does that in case you want some one-on-one attention, you know, or want a more in-depth lesson type deal on you know, on what she teaches. But on her fake bakes, she literally just lays out a buffet of everything. And so one of the things that she does is, because it's like this, it's like, you know, we all like international food. I like Chinese food, and I've always wanted to try Indian food. But if you've ever gone down those international aisles down the grocery store, the names are like this long, hard to pronounce. You're in that aisle for half a day trying to make sure and hope you got what that big old long recipe calls for. So when you're in a new hobby or a new career or a new field, a new anything that you are completely new to, that kind of stuff can be intimidating, you know. Just like, you know, ribbon wiring. If you've ever done jewelry, there's the thing called gauging on the wire. The smaller the number, the bigger the gauges. The bigger the number, the smaller the gauges. You know, it's like right down to that detailed stuff. What she does, and I know that if I was to be, you know, like, I gave up 20 minutes, half hour into that international baking, I was like, I'll just go out because I don't know if I'm getting the right stuff. I don't know if I'm getting the right amount. I don't know if I'm getting all the ingredients, and it just makes me want to give up on cooking international food altogether. So it's like that with crafting. It's like that with sewing. It's like that with quilting. It's like that with many things. What she does, because those stores can be very overwhelming, because a craft store like Michael's and a Hobby Lobby, they sell not just one thing like fabric for quilting and yarn for knitting. They sell a wide range of crafting stuff. So it's like our international grocery aisle. They don't just offer international ingredients for Chinese or India. They do it with Korean and all these other things. And so we're in we don't even know how to pronounce these names. We don't even know what belongs to who. We don't know. So it's like that. What she does is she comes up with kits. So if you're going to do a fake bake of, say, this lollipop, what she does is she sends you the circles, the amount of yarn, pretty much down to the hot glue if you want it, the bling rope. She does her own glitter packaging with the sequins and the different colors of glitter and chunky glitter right down to fine ultra glitter. And she's got it tuned down to a really good combination and portion of all three of those to make a project really stand out. So most of all, she puts that with these fake bake kits. Then what you get in the mail is everything that you need, and then you have her tutorial, and then you have everything that she's using on the tutorial right there until you yourself get more familiar with the terms of what this stuff is, where to find it, how to get it. If you don't want to mess with any of that, you can just reorder it on her site. So that's what's different about her, because I haven't seen anybody else out there doing something like that. Everywhere else out there is just pretty generic. You know, you're not getting, like, I know I need to really be taken and shown by the hand on a lot of things. And I think Hobby Lobby, they'll post patterns up down the yarn aisle, but, and in those yarn patterns, they'll tell you what kind of thread, what kind of crochet hook, what size and all that, but they don't put it all together. And to people who are new, that is very discouraging. And it really makes, if something's too difficult to get to, it makes you not want to try it. So she took all of that out. You know, kind of like Bob Ross, how he came up with his own painting collection of paints. So we all know what Van Dyke Brown is. We get a pre-primed, double stretched canvas. And by the way, he came up with the color Mountain Mud. He's got his own color. Go look it up if you're interested. He had his own paint line for that reason. And not only did he have his own paint line, but because his technique is wet on wet, it's called a la prime. It's a wet on wet technique. So basically he oils up the paint. And I believe he uses like a turpentine paint thinner. And he has that formula mastered down, because if you ever do an oil painting and work with oil paints, they are really thick. You know, you could sit there all day trying to work that into the canvas. But with the wet on wet technique, he took out all the math and madness out of everything. And so, you know, there's the right amount of paint thinner mixed in with the oils and colors of his paint collection. So I want you to know you too can, ouch, paint like Bob Ross, our late and beloved. No, that was not a real afro. Yes, he did have a hairdresser. He even said it himself. What goes on between him and his hairdresser in regards to his hair is his business. So, you know, so what that is to painting is what this can be to crafting. So she has her own business now. It's called Glitz and Glue. and she just wants to be helpful to people and encourage people with crafts and stuff. And anybody can do this. We always say anybody can do this. Well, yes, you can, but some people need a little bit more hands-on than others. And this is a way that you're going to get that. You know, hanging around with us on here, if you hang out long enough, you can kind of figure it out and fumble it around. Or if you just like other basketers' work, which is, you know, what I like. You know, we can get back to you, and we will, but I hear some people out there really coming down on people and really belittling people and getting onto people for their morals. And I wasn't going to discuss this. I was not going to discuss this. Now I'm going to. You know, if you feel like you're shutting down or you're feeling a little bit uncomfortable now and you're really concerned and have a fear about reaching out to another basketer because they're going to not mention any names, but this person, you just don't pay any attention to them. I'd unsubscribe from them, because what happens is when they get enough people unsubscribing, then they start to question are they being of service to YouTube, and is their YouTube channel being of that nature? People don't unsubscribe for, you know, any ungood reason. So with that being said, you know, if you're feeling belittled, if you're feeling like, and I do think that there are agents out there that are there to squat and to gaslight, to run people off, because they don't want us being handy to ourselves, because if we were handy to ourselves, then therefore we could be handy to others. Right down to this. There's a lot of jealousy going on out there, and we're caught in the middle, badly caught in the middle. And so I feel like I'm talking about this because I do see it going on. And then I see these bullies do it so much that other basketers are just too afraid to speak up or speak out or do anything. And I just want you all to know that you don't have to be that one. I want you all to know that this is your business, not anybody else's. I don't want anybody coming to the light to you saying they want to mentor you and nurture you and grow you. I think you should run from people like that. If you have to say that, like, on your channel, like a little too loud, something's wrong there. I do have on my channel, be inspired, be empowered, be these things. You won't tell me, or you won't hear from me anything more than what I'm not doing for myself. And if you ask a question, I'm just going to answer it for you, because I don't, you know, I think we're all at different learning levels. And if you feel like, you know, if you're one of those basketers that does that, and you're watching this right now, I think you need to take a break. I think you need to take a step back. And if you're not, and you're there to squat, torpedo, to destroy, and what torpedo means, they get on your good side, and now you're inviting them all warmly, and they torpedo you, your channel, your subscribers, and everything else. Know this, someone's on to you. Someone is on to you. And, you know, I'll just leave it at that. I have said some things about cost. I've said some things about glitter and, glitter, glitz and glitter. You're in the right spot. I think other channels purposely will badmouth glitter and say it's juvenile and say it's all that stuff, because they know it really is great. They know it's celebratory, and they do not want you to have it, and they do not want your customers to have it, and they do not want you having any customers. I've seen them tell people to price their baskets high, not make any deals with people. We all got to stand together so that you are out there working your ass off in the cold ass winter of hell or in the hot ass end of summer. So you don't sell any baskets and people don't buy any baskets. Then we all lose here all the way around, right? So anytime anyone speaks on financial matters, I want you to run. Like, just, you don't have to hit go, just go, right? I'm sharing my experience on this. This is my experience, and this is just, I know how carried away I get. And so when I say things like just watch the bling, 12 cents a foot versus $1.50 a foot are way too different things. Just double check your cost. If you want to do the $1.50, perfect. That's on you. They got gorgeous stuff out there. I think what I'm really getting at is just trying to speak from experience. It's very easy to put $20 worth of stuff in a basket and not even think about it, and you're just selling it for 15 or 10, and then find out later, what the hell, how come I'm not making any money? It's easy to get carried away. So with that being said, and all that madness on my mind, I don't follow those people. I don't follow those people. I don't associate those people because I have experience with the gaslighting that goes on YouTube, out there in the world, in communities, and everything and everywhere else. And I do see people trying to say the basketing community. So now they're trying to hurt everybody. So now they're trying to have kind of a pedestal or platform, because now, no, this is my channel. This is my community. Just like if you have a channel, it's your channel, it's your community. They don't own nothing about your stuff, about you or your subscribers. So I just want to state, if something morally affects you, just move on. I have. You'd be amazed. I saw 2 basketers state that they do not discriminate who they sell to. And that, yes, they happen to sell to drug dealers. And I was like, that's it, I'm out of here. Because you need to, help money launder, help someone embezzle, help them, all that stuff. And all you're doing is enabling them. It's just, I don't need you around me. That to me is very greedy and sadistic. So I moved on from them. I'm not going to control what they do, say, none of it. But what I can do is move on. And so they are one less subscriber. And I just want you guys to know that you guys can do the same. This is my channel. This is my where my boundaries are. And this is where I have control over, is my channel and my community. Just like everybody else who has their channels in their communities. I am trying to find glue. Found it. Glue. So I can come off brash at times. It's only because it really pisses me off that we're dealing with this. It's only because it really pisses me off that we're in 2025 and we could do so much better than this. It really pisses me off that that there is something that just wants to fail us. And I can only speak for my country here, and yeah, I do see it going on in other places in the world. My country, the United States of America, it is not okay here, and what is it they say, if America fails, the whole world fails, because we started something here, and our asses are on fire here. There are certain belief systems and religious belief systems out there that state if you're this, this, and this, and you fellow alongside them and with them, then you're a heathen. To me, that is a mental disorder, and um, um, it's one hell of a mental disorder. It's brainwashing, and they're making an absolute murderer out of the people that 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 have coerced into believing this, you know. So, anyways, that stuff is going on. And so I just, you know, you guys have your family, you guys have your kids. I know at times it's got to feel like some of these people are just right there in your living room. And when you feel like that, I just want you to block them, unsubscribe, hide them from your channel. You know, I got to do it. And this has been going on for a long time, and that's just how you handle that. So I'm really liking this project a lot. I used to be a quilter. Oh, I love quilting a lot. I like quilting more than I like making clothes. If you hate making clothes, you just might like quilting. Making clothes to me is just real tedious. Quilting, I just love quilting. But I had to quit. And someday I hope to get back to it because I have a lot of projects that need to get done. For now, this is what I do get to have, I think. Sometimes I wonder if my God is, you know, has a sense of humor. You know, I find these great deals, and then I get a roadblock down some way. I'm like, is this meant to be? Is it not meant to be? And, you know, I got to go into that whole ordeal. And, you know, what I do know is I'm having fun right now. It's keeping my hands busy. And hoping to get a little bit of positive time shared with you guys. So, on the next note, the cats are doing good. One of them has crapped on my couch twice now. And I don't know if it's because my kid has moved back in and they're upset about that. I don't know what it is. But usually cats don't do that. They like going in their own litter box, and they don't do it unless there's something wrong with them, which there isn't because they're all eating and drinking just fine. Or they're pissed at something. So hopefully I'll get to the bottom of that. All right. So, I'm gonna move this over here so we can get a better, here, let me get this right here, get a better angle of it. When I upload these videos, they take a while to upload, you know, and it depends, like if I'm uploading them at night, you know, they'll take 2 hours. If I try to upload them in the daytime, forget it. It just doesn't get done because, you know, there's such a high traffic rate with them. So this is a lot of fun. If you want this to go quicker, like I said, I suggest getting the bigger, chunkier yarn. Bernat, B-E-R-N-A-T, makes that kind of yarn. And it gives a, you know, it gives a swirl, a bigger swirl kind of a thing. I was planning on maybe making a few of those. We'll see. But I wanted this little detail. I don't know why I just did. It's just something I wanted to check out. And I'm glad I did because it's a finer detail. But the bigger yarn works wonderfully as well too. And you can put more bling in it because, you know, there's the ditches are bigger, so you can tuck things in and around as you go around the edges. So next up, what we can do, you know, maybe as basketers can come up with a basketing kit for basketing for beginners. So we can, you know, send out the tutorial or have the tutorial no matter what on YouTube. But for those new beginners, you know, that don't, you know, I mean, this stuff isn't always available to everyone. I just shared a post on that subject matter. But they just don't have any idea where to start, what to get. You know, just a lotion isn't enough. Is it a big one? Is it a small one? Is it a medium one? You know, we have reasons for why we get these different sizes of stuff, different colors of stuff. Keep a couple extra on hand. And if you would like to do the actual basket that we are creating and, you know, put it together, you know, we could send you a box with all the stuff in it and get you basketing with us. And it helps support the craft. There's things that I would like to try and can't because of, you know, cost. You know, like how I wanted to try and do that gorgeous, delicious silver diamond drip on here. But it's because of cost and it's too late in the year. That I can't, you know, but in our off season, you know, I have used funds to do that kind of stuff just to further, you know, if it's a good thing and it's going to go well, why not, right? So, I think if all our other basketers out there, heads up, you guys, Nicole Smiley Washington of Divine Creations, Pooh of Unique Designs and Baskets, JCD Designs and Gifts. If you guys are hearing this, maybe you guys want to offer that up to your channels. Maybe you guys want to offer it up to your, as a part of your membership, if you guys have memberships on your channels. You know, if, you know, I have anyone who's interested in something like that, you can certainly leave a comment or something. But I want you guys to know you're going to find your technique in this. And you're going to then get your own style in this. All the other basketers out there have that. And so, you know, we're all in agreement here that we, you know, we just appreciate you guys as supporters, supporting the furtherance of the craft, and that we would want you to get involved. And so if you're a mom or a parent and you want to do Easter baskets for your kids and you just feel so lost in those craft stores, there's a lot of crafters that do Easter, and I'm sure they wouldn't mind, you know, for a fee, of course, selling you a basket kit. And then all you got to do is watch the tutorial on their YouTube channel, and you'd be creating the exact same basket as they are. So all you fellow basketers out there, if you're interested in something like that, you know, I'd suggest start to offering it up on your pages. Start saying something about it, because you know what? Aside from, what was that, cross stitch with the little pieces of yarn and the hook, they don't offer any kits like this in here, okay? Bob Ross himself did not have a paint by numbers. He was like, I'm going to give you guys the paints, and, you know, order as much as you want. Here's the kits. Here's the brushes that I use. And, you know, here's the DVD. And, you know, find your own thing in it. But what we need to do is offer up some kind of a, literally a paint by number type thing. You know, because we were all new once. You know, there was a time where I did not know how to make a bow. And I make fabulous, very fabulous fancy bows. I got a bow dabber recently because of my hands. I'm not able to work with them as much as I used to before. That's why you guys heard me when I did a short on trying the bow dabber for the first time. This is different, you know, but I'm going to stick with it. I like the bows that come out of that, and why not, right? So, you know, you could even do kits with ribbons. Say people, all they want to do is just learn bows, how to do bows, you know. I don't even think Martha Stewart sells bow kits or basket kits or anything like that. Um, you know, she does like sheets and greeting cards and recipe books. So I think, you know, as another alternative to make, you know, um, some more coins out of this, that would be another way to do it. They could watch you and the Bodabra. They could watch us with the Bodabra. We send the ribbon, you know, we send like, here's 5 different bows that we're going to make this week. You could do a subscription. This month, we're going to be learning these 5 ribbons. We could do bi-weekly subscriptions, and they can go at their own pace, and send them the ribbon, the Chanel ties and everything. And, you know, you could send them with a little assignment like to buy a Bodabra, or you could include the Bodabra in with a kit and just send it with the stuff. I knew a lady who ran a daycare center, and all the parents literally had to do was drop the kids off. They didn't even have to drop off diapers or formula. She had them fill out, as you know, the diaper size and the formula needs, and she provided all of it. That woman made bank on that. I thought it was so smart. And she kept all different sizes of diapers and all kinds of formula, and she made bank on that. So, you know, offer a kit with the Bodabra. Because, you know, that they do only have to buy once. And then once they have it, you know, and they get going with it a little, that's going to encourage them to want to do a bit more. And, you know, so I'd start offering that up to them. And PayPal has a storefront. So you can have a storefront on PayPal, and then you can put the link on your YouTube channel and all your other social media channels. And we could do something explosively wonderful with basketing. You know, right down to the paper. Paper, shred, fishing line, a bear, stickers, all of it. And, you know, you could also do a monthly bows and basket subscription and just take them through, you know, a 90-day, a 30-day, a 90-day, 6-month, year subscription with it. You know, you could do like I said, for that eager, you know, for that person who is catching on quickly or has a little bit more time. You know, maybe they want a bi-weekly subscription, and you just, you know, send 5 bows for that week and do the, you know, you do the tutorials and everybody's learning and making coin and, you know, bringing more people up. Because I know that, like, that's what got me started. Was I wanted those beautiful bows and beautiful ribbons, and decided one night I was going to learn how to do these beautiful bows and beautiful Christmases. And so I literally sat all night and redid the bow over and over and over and over and over and over, and till I got it down, and then bought a bunch more ribbon, and I liked it. And so Christmases, we're to the hilt, and things are fun. And, you know, now I'm building on with that a little bit more with basketing. But, you know, after this year, I'll just be doing it for personal friends and family. So, you know, I like it, you know, that much that I can't let it go, that, you know, all that entirely. But, you know, this way I'm not committed to anything really. And if not, then I could always hire all you wonderful basketers out there. And I have, and they've taken very good care of me. Thank you for that, Nicole Smiley Washington of Divine Creations. Nancy really loved her basket. All the other people loved their baskets that I bought from you also. You know, I had some things happen in personal life, and I didn't know, like, how, like, I was, like, all, like, this was last year, just all new to basketing, and so, you know, I wanted to get a head start on the season, and so I had everything all over the place, and I mean all over the place, and, my friend, you know, we lost a good friend in our fellowship, and I just had too much stuff everywhere. I couldn't pack it up, and then to have to go and try and do something nice and neat for her, you know, I wasn't there yet, and so I reached out to Nicole and bought one from her. And Nicole had some other stuff on her site that I love so much. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to be able to get through this for Valentine's. You know why? Because I'm doing Valentine's now. Christmas became Valentine's, and everything's rolling and happening so fast. And so I didn't, you know, I couldn't set all this aside to make my mom one and everybody else one. So I ordered more from her. And I was so thankful for her stuff. She's a very creative person. And, you know, she's got a lot of good stuff. She's got good design and coordination and embellishments and thought out stuff in her baskets. And so I reached out to her. She was like, well, why don't you, I'm just curious here. I was like, I'm knee deep. I'm new to this. I'm knee deep. I can't just pack everything up and start something all new for bereavement. And so, and I was like, and now since it's Valentine's and I got that stuff scattered everywhere, I need your help with that. You know, and it felt really good to be able to reach out to another basketer. And she took very good care of my friends and family. And so if y'all ever need, you know, you're stuck in elbows deep into this stuff and you need one, she will take very good care of you. And so it's Nicole Smiley. It's Nicole Washington Smiley of Divine Create, CR, the number 8, TIONS, Divine Creations, and she'll help you guys out with that. So she ships very fast. She ships with care. And, you know, I can't say enough about her skills, you know, right to being delivered to your door. So, yeah, so I wanted to discuss that for a few too. So anyhow, like I said, many of us, there's lots of them who have businesses, and this is more than just a hobby to them, but I just wanted to reach out there because I think that there's just so much more with, you know, when we had COVID and everybody was locked up and, you know, literally just didn't have, you know, there was no, you know, get to time for anything. And, you know, there was no home deliveries or pickups or anything like that. And nobody wanted to go, you know, into the stores unless they had to. But now with us having YouTube and things like that, and, you know, people ever find time, you know, especially if like you're getting into your retirement and you're wanting to do something like this. I think that the kit idea would be ideal for becoming a first-time grandmother, you know, first-time mother, you know, or you're interested in doing this, you know. I think that would be a great thing to offer, and I think it would be the best way to start because they can see what you're doing, they can hold on to what you're holding on to, and they can place it where you're placing it, and they can do that and build what you're building and do it themselves until they get up enough experience to where they know what they're doing, you know. right up to crinkling the paper, putting the tissue over the top, things like that, to where they can, you know, shop for their own bows and, you know, build their own bows and do their own thing. With that, I think that that would be a neat thing to offer up to the community. So, anybody who wants to do that, start screaming from the rooftops about it. I just shouted it out on my channel, you know, and if you would like that, but you would want it from someone else, I could get a hold of those people for you, or I could refer you to what kind of style you might be looking for more of. You know, if you're happy with mine, well, then I'm glad. I'd be happy to assist you in any way I can. So, you know, and say you do that tutorial and you're, you know, now you're sending out kits and, you know, that's making money off the cuff for you. Nothing wrong with that, right? Then you guys can, you know, pay off some stuff or go on some vacations, or, you know, some people love teaching and that just might be their niche, and that just may be, they just may find out that's all they want to do, you know, is now teach. So, I wanted to suggest that out there, because like I said, Martha Stewart isn't offering it. The reason why people got Bob Ross stuff, because they wanted to paint just like him. They needed all his own stuff. He sent right down to the brushes, the paints. He even yeah, you know, you got Van Dyke brown, you got mountain mud and everything. And as he was going along, that's, you know, you're right there with your brush going right along with him. So, right down to the shrink wrapping. That way they can understand, you know, they're doing it, they got it right in front of them, so that when we're going into the next step up to shrink wrap or siloing, they can, you know, they got it right in front of them, and they can get more of an idea, more of how we do that and why we're doing what we're doing. So, all right, I am for us. I think that we just can't be empowered enough. You know, I think, you know, that we started a great thing in our great country of the United States of America. And I think that, you know, we can only carry this forward in order to keep it ourselves, right? We've gotten far away from that, you know, and now I'm seeing them starting to, you know, herd and tackle the community, and this is not okay. It is not okay. So, all right, I can't believe this. We have one of these. Oh my. I have this completed, and I forgot to put the stick in, but I haven't put the back on yet. So, like I said, I pre-measured these. These are 12-inch quarter round dowels. This is a foot long. And then this black line right here. This black line right here is 3 inches from this end, because that's how far in I'm going to be putting it inside the lollipop. So it'll be like this. And, you know, thinking of it, you know, maybe, you know, with this, you know, I'll get to actually see if this is even maybe a better way to do this, is to go ahead and finish the first one. Let's see. So here's my 3 inches. And here is this. Yeah. All right, let's see if I can do this. So this is going to be my first attempt of, you know, putting a rod in. when that is not done. So, yeah, I think that that's just something that I would have loved, you know, have my own everything, you know, scissors, all that, and to sit down and just, you know, be able to work with the same things, you know, and not have the stress about, am I going to find all this stuff and get overwhelmed. I know Dollar Tree is out of a lot of stuff when I go there. So if they're out of a lot of stuff when I go there, chances are they're going to be out of what's needed in this if a new person were to go there, right? I need to find something more to size here. All right, well, this could do it. This could do it. You know, yeah, it's just freaking insane to be some. We're not here to be Hitler's Third Reich and, you know, to take out all the gas getters and, you know, and Hitler did say that in order to overthrow a nation, you must first disarm their citizens. You know, that's pretty scary. And he managed to do that. And the concentration camps and all that kind of stuff. See, you know, he just outwitted the people. And he got them to go there themselves, you know, lying and saying they were taking them to the hospital. That's how one way they got them to literally walk right into the concentration camps all by themselves. Or not all by themselves, but to get them on the train and then to drag them on off into those far concentration camps away from the herd. You know, and I do not want that happening to us here. Every person in my family has fought in wars, so that we would not ever have to go through something like that. And I'll be damned if where we're at today, you know, it's very upsetting. So, if you feel like you're being handled that way, you know, get the hell away from them, because, you know, if you feel that way, it's because that's exactly the way they want you to feel. You are progressing along nicely in their eyes. So, okay. This isn't too bad. I wouldn't necessarily go this way because it's got to, yeah, it's got to really fit into those. See how I'm like working that back in. So right now the best way to do it is when we almost get finished with the top, is then put our backing and our stick in between and then finish gluing it and then finish the top side. So I think that would be something very different that is not out there, that maybe we can get a jump start on before the commercial stores get a hold of it, you know, and get it completely out of our hands and start pocketing all the money for themselves. So, all right. I'm just going to try and see if I can't just kind of squeeze that in just a bit so that I can, all right, I'm going to have to come back to this. I don't want to take up your guys' time on this. So what happened is what I'm trying to do is to fit the edge underneath the finished yarn. So I'm going to put this aside because it's giving me a time right now to do. And we are going to move on to, guess another one. And also what I like to try and do is, I'm doing the darker side because this yarn, although it's bright, it's also dark because of the purple. And if I don't get this quite tight enough, and there's a little bit of the ditch that happens, it's harder for it to show because it's it's in the dark. And also the glitter can also get in there, but if I don't catch it right away, the black kind of covers that. So what I did to get this was I just basically took a yard, a big roll of ribbon, right here, and I put it down on top of a piece of cardboard and traced around it. And I traced a bunch of them and then cut them out. So what I need to do, because not only are they cut out individually, but they're not all cut out at the same time. So these, jagged edges and stuff. And then I also put the glitter paper on the back. These don't always line up together the best. So when I get these put together is when, after this part of putting, here's the little black line. Where are you? So that's how far in I'm going to push this up on the underside. And then go ahead and bring them together. And if there's any unevenness, trim those sides off. Okay. So put that aside. And here we go. I can't thank enough the people on the other channels for sharing about sales and, really going out of their way to bring us along shop-alongs. I love it when they take us on shop-alongs. With my condition, it can put me in bed for days. And so I'm like, oh, it really soothes that need for a car ride. Going on shop-alongs and, the clearances and things like that. But I think that it teaches us how to shop, It teaches us where to focus our eyes and what times of the year, and kind of teaches us a trick to the trade, so to speak. So thank you all, you other basketers out there who do shop-alongs. I know S. Marie does those. Nicole Washington Smiley of Divine Creations takes us on a lot of shop-alongs, and I love each and every one of them. There's a few others out there who do it too. So if I missed your name, please don't be offended. I'm just trying to get this next part of the project. I had something unexpected happen. I forgot to glue the stick in between the two. So hot glue is up and going, and we're ready for our next stitch here. All right. So, all you wonderful peeps. So I was gonna do something because I hit 32 subscribers. Oh, that was it. I'm at 9,800 views. And when I just checked last night, I'm over 100 likes, which are those milestones, I guess, that they celebrate. So I was going to do some kind of a giveaway, and I'm still trying to think of what exactly I'm going to do. But I don't want anybody to be excluded, including those who won last time, because it's all of us who get us to where we are, and it's all of us who keep us where we are. And, you know, I'm just going to put names in the jar and shake the jar up and see where the God of my understanding takes us. And believe me, there's plenty enough in that jar to where if we get the same person twice, there's just, I would just have to chalk it up as being something short of definitely being meant to be. So, like I said, I'm not gonna be excluding those who have previously won, because, like I said, it takes all of us to get us where we are, and it takes all of us to keep us where we are. And if you are an offense to that, well, it works both ways. All that means is if you ever win, you're not going to ever get excluded. Okay? It's a win-win kind of a thing. So I thought doing a gift card. I also thought maybe of doing a concept. I got these really cute little purses from Amazon, and they, you know, they're for flowers or something like that, to put that in for your concepts. They're just adorable. So I thought about blessing a concept, you know, or doing a gift card, something. So I'm still going to think on it. So I'm going to need a few. But I mentioned on a previous video, if anybody has any suggestions or anything that they've done, to please reach out. One thing I am firm and adamant on, though, is that everybody will be entered all the time here, whether you won previously or not. Because like I said, it took everyone to get me here, and it takes everyone to keep me here. And so I'm thankful for that. I just can't believe how fast my freaking channel has grown. You guys have no idea what kind of a life I have had for the past 20 years. I've literally been exiled. I mean, you would need to go in therapy if I were to tell you everything over the past 20 years, and I really don't want to do that. So for this channel to become a channel, for it to grow as fast as it has, for it to have gotten the views that it has, for me to even surpass not just 1 like but over 100, it's really, really amazing. So it's very encouraging and very inspiring to me. So I thank you all for that. Okay, here. So my battery is going low, so I'm going to have to stop recording and get this uploaded. This is as far as I got. So I will see you guys again here either tonight, tomorrow, or the next day. And we will do another video. Stay blessed. You're always welcome here. Thank you for being here, and I will talk to you guys later. Thank you again. Goodbye.